Hey, what you say, food family? Mike here, and welcome back to the channel for another great culinary adventure. In today's video, we're going to be making the most delicious surf and turf dinner for that special someone in your life. We're going to be cooking a Wagyu chuck-eye steak, some Argentinian red shrimp, some roasted garlic green beans, and we'll finish off with some creamy mashed potatoes. Sounds amazing and delicious, right? But quite difficult? Well, we're going to take all the cooking skills out of it and cook everything via the sous vide method. So whether you're new to the sous vide or just want to make that ultimate delicious dinner for that special someone in your life, stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Let's get cooking. Alright folks, we'll get today's video kicked off by seasoning the steak for this surf and turf dinner. As you see in front of me, I got this amazing Wagyu chuck-eye steak. It's absolutely full of fat, marbled, looking delicious. You don't have to use Wagyu, of course. You can use any sort of cut of beef you like. Sirloin, New York strip, ribeye, they're all going to work the same. We're going to prep it the same. It's going to cook the same. But today I'm using Wagyu to really elevate this meal. So, we're going to take our steak here today. I got a simple salt, pepper, garlic blend. I make this one up myself. You can use a pre-made one. Whatever you like, but I'm going to cover this generously on all sides. Alright, that's it for the steak. We're just going to simply place it in our sous vide bag. And I'll seal this up. Next we'll get those potatoes prepped. Alright, and just like that, we got our steak seasoned with garlic, pepper, salt blend, real simple, sealed up in our bag here. I'm going to set this to the side and we can turn our attention to our potatoes. I've got 6 russet potatoes here in front of me. I've already gone ahead and peeled them, of course, just saving a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and slice these into 1/2 inch thick slices so they'll cook evenly in the sous vide water bath. Alright, we got our potatoes sliced into 1/2 inch thick pieces. You don't have to be real specific about it. You just want to keep them all pretty uniform so it will cook through in the sous vide process. If you don't slice them and leave them whole, the insides will not get cooked. So we can go ahead, got our bag here. We want this kind of a larger bag because we want to even single layer as much as possible. Alright, with our potatoes in the bag, we're going to season this with some unsalted butter, some heavy cream or full milk, whole fat milk, some roasted garlic cloves. This is optional, but they're absolutely amazing. Add a lot of extra flavor and depth to those creamy mashed potatoes. Some white pepper, just to keep things white and pretty looking. You can use black pepper, of course. It's going to taste the same and just have black specks in your potatoes, and a little bit of salt. So, just go ahead here, start with our salt and pepper. And just a little bit in the beginning. You can always add more at the end after they're done cooking. Cloves of that roasted garlic, and I can link this in the description below how to make these roasted garlic cloves. Got our heavy cream, and finally that stick and a half of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and slice these up just so they'll melt easier and disperse throughout the potatoes. Alright, and through the magic of YouTube television, we got our potatoes and about a single layer sealed up with that heavy cream, unsalted butter, salt, white pepper, and those roasted garlic cloves. So I'm going to be cooking these both today at the same time. I have 2 sous vide setups. The great thing about sous vide though is you can make all this ahead of time the day before and just reheat it right before service. That's the whole point of it. Makes life easy, takes all the cooking skill out of it. So for a steak today, I'm going to be cooking this 130 degrees Fahrenheit for 90 minutes. And our potatoes are going to be 190 degrees for 90 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead, throw these in the respective water baths, let these cook. When we come back, we'll grab our shrimp and those green beans and start prepping those for their sous vide water bath. So grab a beer, hang out, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Alright folks, welcome back. Our steak and potatoes have been cooking for about 30 minutes so far. The steak at 130 degrees and those potatoes at 190. So with an hour left on the clock, we can go ahead and prep our shrimp because these are going to marinate for about 30 minutes before we throw them in with that steak at 130 degrees for that final 30 minutes. So today we're cooking with some beautiful Argentinian red shrimp. Now this is a little tough to cook because they're already red, the color you're looking for when you finish cooking shrimp, right? That makes sous vide perfect for these because you can't mess it up. So all we're going to do today is take our shrimp and place them in our bag. All right, folks, we got our shrimp in our sous vide bag here today. Now, you probably noticed I am keeping the shells on these today. There's a ton of flavor in those shells alone. So I'm going to go ahead and sous vide these within the shell today. You can go ahead and do the same exact method, everything the same with deshelled shrimp if you want to make it easier later on. So we got these beautiful Argentinian red shrimp. I got about 1.5 pounds. I'm going to teach you a little trick here. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda per pound of shrimp. When you sous vide cook it, will keep that firm texture to the shrimp and it won't get moist and soggy and kind of gross. You don't want that. So we got our shrimp here. I'm just going to go ahead and add our baking soda. And then I'm going to do that same salt, pepper, garlic mixture, just keeping it simple today, and these flavors will carry through throughout the entire meal. And through the magic of YouTube television, our shrimp has sealed itself inside this sous vide bag. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, let that marinate, those salt, pepper, garlic spices, and the baking soda do its trick on this shrimp. Now, when we come back, I'll prep the green beans, and we'll throw the shrimp in with the steak for the final 30 minutes, and those green beans in with the potatoes for that last 30 minutes. Stay tuned. All right, folks, welcome back. Our steak and potatoes have been cooking in their sous vide baths for about 1 hour now. Our shrimp's marinated for 30 minutes in that salt, pepper, garlic blend with that baking soda. I did forget one thing, and I thought about it during the break, so I went ahead, unsealed my shrimp, and added some butter to the bag, and resealed it, of course. At home, don't forget to do this initially. It's not important to the marinade itself, but for the cooking process, we want the butter in that bag while it's cooking, kind of poach those shrimp with all those flavors. Not a big deal today. Almost forgot those, so just remember at home, don't forget to butter with your shrimp. Now, for the green beans, there's actually no prep work to do at all. Just throw them in the sous vide bag. We're going to finish these off in the pan that we finished searing our steak off in the end. So don't need to worry about seasoning them at this point. We're just going to cook them. So we got 30 minutes left over on our cook, folks. I'm going to add our shrimp in with the steak, 130 degrees for the final 30 minutes. And we're going to add our green beans in with the potatoes, 190 degrees for the final 30 minutes. When we come back, we'll take everything out of the sous vide, let that steak rest, and start preparing those mashed potatoes. Stay tuned. All right, folks, welcome back. All our sous vide cooking is complete. Our steak went in 130 degrees for 90 minutes. The Argentinian red shrimp went in for 30 minutes, same temperature, 130 degrees. The potatoes for 1.5 hours, 190 degrees, and the green beans for 30 minutes, 190 degrees. All we got left to do is to rice our mashed potatoes, turn them into mashed potatoes. There's potatoes at this point. So I've got them in a bowl here. We're going to save these liquids because that's what we're going to mix in with the rice potatoes in the end. So these things are 190 degrees. Obviously, I'm going to use the tongs. All right, folks, I got it through the ricer. It took a little more effort than I really wanted to do today. I think I had it a little too thick sliced. They weren't quite cooked all the way, making it a little tougher. So in the future, maybe cut yours 1/4 inch thick. I'll be sure to update the recipe card in the link below. Other than that, though, we got them riced. I'm going to add a little bit more of this liquid, just a little at a time, and stir them to get to the right creamy consistency. Now, it should take exactly this amount of liquid, but if you want them a little on the drier side or a little on the runny side, you can add more or less. So let's just go ahead, mix this in, and don't over mix it. Your potatoes will get mushy and starchy and not going to be tasty. So just a little at a time. And we'll stir it up. Potatoes are done, they're ready to go. I'll get this cleaned up. When we come back, we'll sear off our steak, and while that's resting, finish those green beans. Stay tuned. All right, folks, we can finish off our ultimate sous vide surf and turf dinner today by searing off our steak and finishing off those green beans in some roasted garlic butter. So I'm going to heat my pan up, cast iron pan here today, leave a nice char and sear on the outside. You could also do this on your grill, of course. We'll heat this up over high heat with some high temperature avocado oil. Sear each side about 45 seconds max just to finish the steak off. We'll take that off, and while it's resting a few minutes, cook our green beans. Now, kind of the same principle. I'm going to throw a little bit of that garlic butter, that roasted garlic we used earlier, in the pan, a little bit more oil. Let those saute for, 1 to 2 minutes, nothing crazy. I want to keep them nice and crisp. So, let me get this stuff cooked. We'll get everything plated up, come back, give it a taste test, and see how we did. Alright folks, it's been about 2 hours since we started this process today. Our ultimate sous vide surf and turf dinner is looking and smelling absolutely delicious. It is time for us to dig in and see if we pulled this one off. So, for service for a fancy dinner, I would go ahead and pre-peel the shrimp for whoever you're serving this to, but for today we're just going to leave it as is, of course. I'm going to start off with a bite of these creamy potatoes. Got some roasted garlic on there, a little bit of chives just to make it look fancy. I'm excited for this. Let's dig in. Nice big bite. Those are some of the best mashed potatoes I think I may have ever had, folks. So creamy, tons of flavor. You normally make mashed potatoes, you cook it in water, you lose all the flavor of the potato itself. When you cook it sous vide with the heavy cream and the butter and everything, all the flavor stays in the potato and you get the potato flavor. It's to die for, folks. All right, let's try a couple of those green beans and that roasted garlic. We sauteed them off after they've been cooked sous vide. They still got some nice bite to them. I tell you what, folks, I'm not normally a big fan of green beans, but these are straight out of my mother and father-in-law's garden. We sous vide cooked them, finished them off in that roasted garlic, oil, and butter. Oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. Got a nice crunch and bite to them. Now, if you like yours a little softer, just cook them longer. That's all it takes. You can sous vide them for 45 minutes to get a little softer texture. But I like it right here, a nice crisp bite to it. Now, let's go in for one of those Argentinian red shrimp. Alright, like I said, I didn't peel them today ahead of time, so got my fingers a little dirty here, but let's dig in. These Argentinian red shrimp, folks, are absolutely amazing. There's still a lot of nice bite and texture to them, even though we basically butter poached them in that sous vide bath. That baking soda really did the trick. These are not soft at all. They got nice bite to them, but they're absolutely delicious. A hint of sweetness, just a little bit there like shrimp normally has, but lots of great butter and garlic flavor to those shrimp. Now finally, this is the piece I've been waiting for this whole entire video. This Wagyu chuck eye steak. I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to dig in and then I'm going to tell you what I think. So grab a bite here from the middle. Cheers. If you have not experienced Wagyu beef before, folks, I'm telling you, go out, splurge one time, and make this steak for that special person in your life. It is soft, buttery texture, absolutely amazing, perfectly cooked. Sous vide cooked at 130 degrees, seared it off 45, 50 seconds per side. You cannot beat that. It is cooked perfect, medium rare, folks. If you want to cook yours longer and be crazy, by all means do that, but I would not go over 135 degrees. Do not go past the medium with these delicious Wagyu steaks. Obviously, we bumped it up today with the Wagyu. If you made your normal sirloin or ribeye, New York strip from a regular cow, that's totally fine too. It's going to taste just as good because you know you cooked it absolutely perfect. That is why sous vide cooking is the method to go to when you don't have a lot of kitchen skills or you want to make all this stuff ahead of time. Come home, warm it up quick, boom, you're eating, you got dinner on the table. This is a nice fancy dinner for date night too. Or if you just want to do some other steak for a random night of the week. This sous vide method is the way to do that. All right, folks. Well, I'm not going to keep jabbering on about this today because it has tasted so great. I cannot wait to dig in. Like I said earlier, 2 hours start to finish pretty much. I'm ready to eat. This is too good to wait on. So, if you like what I made here today and want to recreate this ultimate sous vide surf and turf dinner for your special loved one in your life, your friends, your family, whoever it may be, or just for yourself, treat yourself once in a while. You got to do that for a little mental health, a little self-love, right? Check the links in the description below. That will send my website with the recipe card with the times and temperatures to make these delicious things we made here today. The roasted garlic, green beans, those creamy mashed potatoes, the sous vide steak, and those Argentinian red shrimp. Obviously, regular shrimp will work too. I just happened to have these in the freezer, so I thought, why not use Argentinian red shrimp today, right? Like I said earlier, you can go ahead and peel these shrimp before you cook them, but you're going to lose out on a lot of that flavor the shell gives. So I suggest cooking them in the shell and then peeling them afterwards before you serve it. So your special person, that lovely person in your life, whether it be your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, whoever it may be, doesn't have to get their fingers all dirty trying to eat this fancy meal. Because at the end of the night, you want to finish this off, head to the bedroom, and enjoy the labors of your love, right? It's a panty dropper, folks. That being said, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that like button. That tells me and YouTube that you appreciate the video and the content I'm putting out here for you today. And if you like this sort of stuff, be sure to subscribe. I put out these great videos every week if possible, all kinds of different cuisines from Asian to American to fusion, barbecue. I don't know what it's going to be each week, neither will you unless you tune in. And if you want to know when I put out another great video, be sure to click that notification bell. YouTube will send you a message so you don't miss a single bit of action. Other than that, folks, back here, signing off. It's been a pleasure cooking for you once again. Just keep cooking.